So a lot of NIO sales reps here in China face the possibility of very soon being let go of. It's good and bad, of course. Good because if you're not performing, of course, why would we still want to pay you your salary, right? And bad because some of these people, they're legit good sales reps, but they're just not performing well. And sometimes you do sort of sympathize with them. You kind of don't want them to be let go. What you're seeing is on Little Red Book, which is the Chinese equivalent of Instagram. And I also post videos there as well. And because everything I post and everything I do is NIO related, so on my pop-up feed, I get a lot of NIO related content as well. So a lot of that is also just sales reps talking about them going to get fired very soon or potentially getting let go. They haven't had an order in 30 or some days. This one's pretty interesting. This is a sales rep who said it's been like 30 days since she's had an order for NIO. She thinks she's going to get let go very soon. And if you look in the comments, of course, she wants people to see this and maybe buy a NIO through her. But also, you also get some of the other NIO sales reps that are also on this platform commenting as well. It said, me too, I might be let go soon as well. I might not make it to the end of this month, etc., etc. And of course, you get some NIO owners as well saying, hey, I bought the old ES6 or I bought the ES6. And some people do want to buy the car and they and DM her and potentially they bought a car, hopefully. All right, but you're seeing a lot of that happen. And as per the NIO manager, he calls this situation swimming to shore. Because if you don't make it at the end of the month, if you don't swim to shore, then you're going to drown. And that's pretty much what every single company does, right? If you're not performing well, you're not doing that well, you're going to get let go. Same here. It's good for shareholders because, you always have the best performing sales reps. Nobody's getting any free lunches, all right? So what is NIO doing and how is demand looking like, all right? Because demand is actually a big problem. So, of course, NIO has shifted a lot of the strategy. At stores, it's pretty much natural traffic. If there's lots of people in the mall, then you're going to get some traffic in the store. But what NIO is also doing is for those people that are interested customers that have left their phone numbers and potentially already got a good solid introduction by a sales rep, NIO does invite some of these customers to do a group test drive. This is much more effective than just those individual test drives. Like group test drive, they all go together somewhere, go to different scenic spots, and then be able to test out the features and also maybe go to a swap station. So they're doing a lot of that. This is very nice. And of course, with every single car, there's going to be like one or two customers, and then there's also going to be a sales rep. It's very nice. It's sort of like those scenario test drives where you test drive it as if you own the car. And of course, this is one of the best ways to quickly get a customer to realize and understand the whole entire ecosystem of NIO and what they're dealing with, including, most importantly, battery swap. A more extreme version of this is, of course, lending the car out for 14 days. They used to do it for a month and then 14 days. Well, they are still doing some of it to some extent, but obviously these group test drives are much more effective and time efficient. Now, NIO CEO has said that they're aiming for 30,000 deliveries, and even in interviews, they said that they're aiming for 30,000 and quote unquote 30,000 capacity. All right, the ability to get 30,000 deliveries, but how much they achieve is based on how well they perform, obviously. But one of the things he said is one of the problems is, of course, demand for NIOs. As you guys know, demand is very price sensitive. And here in the Chinese EV market, everybody's doing a lot of heavy price cuts, and some cars are just entering the market with super lowball prices. Some of you guys have asked, for example, IM Motors, how are they able to keep the specs so good at such a cheap price Well, it's because IM Motors is backed by Alibaba and also SAIC, which is the biggest car company that have much better supply chain efficiencies. And speaking of supply chain efficiencies at getting car parts and all that kind of stuff, Xpeng actually recently fired a lot of their top execs because what they were doing was that they were essentially pocketing a lot of extra money by having Expo pay a higher price. So, for example, if you're the part dealer and you're selling, for example, let's say this head cushion or something like that, it's supposed to cost $1, but then you and I come to an agreement that, hey, we'll charge you $1.10 and we'll pay you like 1 cent for every unit going forward. And this is like a private deal, all right? That 1 cent goes to that person, that exec, something like that. And they ended up pocketing a ton of money. And what ends up happening is, of course, the car price can't really go down. The margins are negative because all the price of everything is inflated, right? Inflated by a little bit. So that's obviously not very good. So the person who identified all this is actually one of the new top execs. That this lady, she used to be in the auto industry since the early 1990s, working from a normal sales rep all the way to the president CEO of Great Wall Motors, which was pretty insane. So she knows the ins and outs of everything from the bottom to the top. So she was able to identify these problems and get them changed. What NIO might have to do going forward is to identify things, similar situations, similar problems, I'm not saying that anybody at NIO is pocketing extra money to jack up part prices, but maybe, I don't know. But I can bet you that there are definitely ways to get things a lot cheaper than it is right now to essentially lower the cost of the vehicle and also improve margins and potentially even allow further price cuts for the car to spur up demand. You're seeing everybody cut prices to spur up demand. I mean, the only reason NIO isn't cutting prices is because they don't want to hurt existing NIO owners, which you're going to hurt eventually, because if you go for NT3, NT 2.0 vehicle resale values are going to just absolutely tank. And also, depreciation is already very hard with NIO. So stop worrying about existing NIO owners. I mean, like, you're going to do it anyway. Why not just do it now and then get the demand up, sell more cars? When you're selling something and everybody else that's also selling something similar is cutting prices and you're not cutting prices, you're staying, for the case of high end, I'm going to stay up at this price point, and you still want sales, I mean, it's very natural for people to flow into the guys with cheaper prices. It's just the way it is. And NIO CEO has said that they have bullets in the gun to basically, get more sales. And this was in one of the interviews that he said. But he doesn't want to use all the bullets right now. But if you're not going to use them now, when are you going to use them? Get those sales up. Get the demand back. Cut the prices down. And there's another massive rumor. I guess I'll have to leave that for another video. I mean, like, this rumor, obviously unverified, so that's why I haven't been talking about it yet. But I'll share it in my next video. All right. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.